Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called A Financial Shockwave is Coming. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so I encourage you to click on the notification bell and the subscribe button so you can get notified every time we upload a new episode. I'd also like to tell you about HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a live phone service that allows you to talk to your favorite celebrities. So give it a try. There are more than 100 celebrities to choose from. HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now, let's get started. As most people can plainly see, the economy has been destroyed by the events of the last year. The big question now is, what's next? In our opinion, we believe that some very challenging times are ahead for a lot of businesses and individuals attempting to get back to work. First, let's begin with many of the small and medium-sized business owners who've been destroyed by the last 12 months. A lot of them have wiped out their savings trying to hold on for the last year. Unfortunately, I believe a lot of them will not be able to reopen their businesses and will have to find normal jobs just to support themselves. That's going to be really challenging because so many jobs have been wiped out. They're gone. New York alone is said to have lost 1 million jobs in the last year. Think about that for a second. That's the population of a small country in which theoretically no one can feed themselves anymore because these people are not working. But let's say you are able to reopen your bar or restaurant again. How many people and potential customers out there are still in a position to go out to dinner and spend $100 or $150 on a dinner for a family? We're guessing that a lot of those people have had their savings wiped out by the last year. What about all the retail businesses that have closed? Will they come back? I believe that most of them will not return simply because the marketplace and the economy have been changed. Plus, a lot of people are still afraid of going out in public, so they would prefer to buy things online. And let's assume that despite everything that's happened to you, you still want to open a new business or reopen your existing business, but you need a loan to do that. Does anyone really believe that banks are going to be quick to loan money to open a small restaurant or a bar or a retail store after the bloodbath they've seen in these industries over the last year? I don't think so. What about the government? Won't they help with loans? Well, we're seeing a lot of government money going to bailing out major corporations, and we haven't really seen too much financial aid flowing to small and independent businesses. You know what else is going to be a shock to people? It's the explosion of street crime in the cities and, get ready for it, in the suburbs. And what's particularly disturbing about it is that much of it is not financially motivated, but completely random and without purpose. It's no longer just burglars breaking into homes so they can steal your TV for drug or food money. Now we're seeing a tremendous amount of random violence and murder on YouTube videos in which people walking down the street will just attack or kill someone for no apparent reason. A lot of it appears to be just recreational. Because so much of this crime is purposeless and random, it makes it very difficult to detect and prevent, and it becomes even harder to investigate and solve unless you can see the criminal's face on the surveillance video. Fortunately, many of these idiotic criminals videotape themselves committing their crimes, and then they post those videos on YouTube so they can brag about what they just did. Now, the next shockwave that's coming is the detonation of the debt bomb. There is so much debt out there that the economy and the companies and individual people are being crushed by, that the day of debt reckoning is fast approaching. Because of all this crushing debt, a lot of cities and states are now operating in a state of undeclared bankruptcy, and as a result, are hoping that the feds will bail them out. Those that aren't bailed out by the feds will have to go bankrupt, which means that a lot of city services will have to be curtailed. What's funny is that a lot of these Poorly run cities are saying that they're going to have to raise taxes on the people to make up for the deficits. But at this point, I think that most people are struggling with their current taxes and can't even pay those, let alone any new higher taxes. Another massive shockwave that's coming is the bankruptcy tidal wave. We're going to see so many people, tenants, landlords, companies, charities, and organizations filing for bankruptcy that it's going to be a shock to the system. The next time you go to the mall, take a good look at the stores that are still there, because a month later, many of them may no longer be there. And then that disappearing act will continue after that, month after month after month, as more stores begin closing. Next, we're going to see a tsunami of divorces and a dramatic drop in the number of people getting married. That also means a huge spike in the number of single parents out there struggling to feed their children. The reason that all these new divorces will be such a shock to the system is that they're so disruptive to both parents financially. Often, when people get divorced, it affects both parents in a really traumatic way. I also believe that because of what happened in the economy over the last 12 months, will increase the reluctance that most men will have to getting married, simply because of the enormous financial stresses that will be added to their lives if they do so. Another shock that is fast approaching that we believe will stun most people is how much the price of gasoline, utilities, and food will continue to increase by. We believe that as these costs keep rising, it will be more challenging than ever to feed a family a proper and nutritious meal. And because of that, we predict a huge rise in the sale of cheap, garbage, non-nutritious junk food. So, when these shock waves start to hit, what can people do to help mitigate the effects of all of this? Well, one thing I'm recommending that people do is that they start working 7 days a week and perhaps even get a second job from this point forward. I think that for many people, the only way to survive what's coming will be to work 7 days a week. What about retirees living off pensions or Social Security? Well, I suspect that both Social Security and the pensions will be severely impacted by all this debt and the disappearance of all these millions of jobs and businesses. I think everybody out there should forget about vacationing for the next few years, forget about buying luxury goods and major discretionary purchases, and just focus on trying to make and save as much money as possible. When the enemy came during World War II, the people who survived were the ones who had a little bit of money or gold hidden away. Those that didn't were not able to escape and survive. They were just wiped out. Think about that the next time you think about spending money on something you don't absolutely need. I want to thank our viewers for watching and tell you that we're going to have more great celebrity interviews and more breaking news stories coming up in the future. So we want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post a new story. Bye-bye.